I've had a bit of a break from filming YouTube videos recently because of exams and just life, but I'm back to filming and I'm feeling very inspired to create again. So to let you in on the plan for the week, because there's going to be a lot going on. I had the last exams of the semester last week, and this week will be the first week before my trip to the mountains. I'm going camping, so I'll be doing quite a bit of planning, packing and organizing and stuff like that. And I need to finish a video and get that scheduled. Especially the planning is very important though, because I haven't planned anything yet and I am very much an over planner, so I need to do that ASAP. Okay, I'm just having a quick snack. It's not quite lunchtime yet, but I am hungry, so this is some soaked oats with apple and some nut butter. I'm just gonna have this and then have lunch at some point. So for lunch today I'm going to be using these pre-cooked lentils and quinoa. I just cooked them in the same pot, in the same water together because that's easy. So that's going to be the base, and then I'm going to do some veggies and a nice sauce to go on top. So I'm going to do some greens as the base, the quinoa and lentil mix, some cucumber, radishes. I'm also going to add some pickled jalapenos because I'm trying to use these up before I leave. Parsley. To make the sauce, we just need some nutritional yeast, some tahini, 2 spoonfuls of this, some Dijon mustard, thyme, some salt, and some lemon juice, or you can also use white wine vinegar. Just gonna mix this together. Okay, moving on to dinner. I decided to cook one of my favorite pasta dishes at the moment, which is a miso lemon mushroom pasta, and it's so easy to make. I started by slicing a packet of mushrooms into evenly thick slices, and then getting these in a dry pan to release their liquid for a few minutes, while also thinly slicing some garlic and chopping up a handful of fresh parsley. Moving over to the pan, the mushrooms were looking good at this point, so I added in the sliced garlic as well as a knob of vegan butter, mixing this together quickly before adding chili flakes and grating in some lemon zest to add some freshness, although the chili flakes are definitely optional if you don't want to add them in. The pasta had finished cooking on the side, so I added this into the pan along with a bit of the pasta cooking water and stirred all of these ingredients together for about a minute before adding in the fresh parsley, stirring once again and then taking the pan off the heat. This is perhaps my favorite pasta dish at the moment. It is so delicious, but so quick and easy to make with very few ingredients. And if you're a fan of miso and mushrooms, I highly recommend giving this one a go. The next day for lunch, I wanted to try out something that I saw on Instagram, or at least inspired by the post I saw, which is a shredded tofu salad with corn and black beans. So I grated my tofu into a bowl. I made a double batch here, so 2 blocks of tofu, and then also cut up some corn, which is so good right now. I love fresh corn so much. I seasoned the tofu and corn with lots of smoked paprika, cumin, salt and pepper, drizzled some olive oil on top, and then tossed this together using my hands, which is the easiest way to make sure everything's coated well in the oil and spices. I baked this for about 20 minutes in the oven until golden brown on top, but not too crispy. In the meantime, I made the dressing, which is very simple. Into the same bowl from earlier, I added in some vegan crème fraîche or crème vega, as well as tomato paste, lots of lime juice and a good amount of salt. After mixing this together, there's a bit of chopping to do, so I gathered my ingredients and cut up some cherry tomatoes, bell pepper, red onion and fresh parsley. Since the tofu and corn were obviously quite small in size, I also made sure to cut the veggies quite small to get a bit of everything in every bite. Once the chopping was done, the tofu had finished baking, so it was time to put all of the components together. I first added the crispy tofu and corn from the oven, followed by all of those vegetables I had cut up, and then started mixing this all together. A bigger bowl would have definitely done it, but anyways. I gave it a taste at some point and added some more salt and pepper before mixing again and then setting this to the side for about 15 minutes. In those 15 minutes, I 1. Cleaned up the kitchen a bit, and 2. Cooked up some brown rice, which I would serve alongside the salad, some fresh cucumber, and some homemade sauerkraut, which I had in the fridge. The cucumber adds some freshness, and the sauerkraut adds acidity, which makes the meal taste more balanced overall. And I was very happy with the way the salad turned out. It was super delicious and a great new way to eat tofu. Aber jetzt ist richtig Karneval. Aber was ist das für ein Charakter?
Oh ja!
It's actually my mom's birthday today, so I'm gonna be heading over there in a few minutes to celebrate, and I'm also gonna be baking her birthday cake because, and I say this with love, we don't want to eat cake that's been baked by my dad or brother. My parents always joke about how it looks like I'm moving out every single time I come to their house, and honestly, they're not wrong. Okay, let's hop on the train and surprise my mom. Are you seeing this right now? Zitronen ab mit dem Augen drauf und mit dem So after getting home from my parents' house, I was kind of in a rush to make dinner because I was working in the evening. So I made a super quick zucchini, chili oil and tahini pasta. And when I say super quick, I mean it, because this entire dish only took me 10-ish minutes in total, You fry the zucchini straight in the chili oil to get nice and charred, and then add in some tahini, pasta water, and the cooked pasta, as well as some fresh parsley, and just mix it all together until creamy and emulsified. You can definitely add some chickpeas into this or crispy tofu on top for some added protein. I honestly did not have the mental capacity to do that on this night, but still, these kinds of pasta dishes that are creamy but light are my favorite at the moment. After a very social and busy Wednesday, I was craving a slower and relaxed start to the day. So I started by getting out all of the clothing and utensils I would need for the upcoming trip, which turned my apartment into absolute chaos. Once I had the majority of the stuff laid out, I made some breakfast and decided to make a miso quote-unquote caramel topping to go on my porridge. It's obviously not caramel, but tastes kind of similar. I had made the porridge using a seeded muesli mix, added the miso caramel on top, and then I cut up a peach as well, but I think some kind of berry would be even better with the caramel. A sprinkle of flaky salt to finish, and that was breakfast done. Honestly, this sauce is so incredibly good. If you're a fan of sweet and salty, I would highly recommend making this and especially trying it on porridge. I'm gonna be doing a bit of filming for another video. That video is kind of different from my usual content, so it's gonna be a bit of a sit-down voiceover situation, and I also need to film some extra shots to like fill the gaps with the voiceover, so that's probably honestly gonna take a few hours, but I do want to get it done today because I want to get that edited and scheduled so I can start editing this video. So I'm gonna waste no time, let's just get into it. So after filming the video and a quick visit to the gym, it was time for some lunch. Inspired by the miso, chickpea and avocado smash I love to make, I used those flavors to make a salad with crispy chickpeas, avocado and a miso sesame dressing. So I had cooked up some quinoa in the morning, which I added on top of the greens, as well as some mini cucumbers, a small avocado, crispy roasted chickpeas and some fresh mint. The dressing is very simply made from miso paste, sesame oil and lemon juice, and I poured this all over the salad. The combination of miso and avocado is so good and so underrated. I love anything with miso and avocado in it. After lunch, I then got to doing some more editing. I actually spent so long on this video, and after about 2.5-3 hours, I stepped outside to do some shopping for the upcoming trip. I thought I'd show you what I'm gonna bring on the trip. I didn't get all of this today. Some of this I already got last week and some of this I had in the cupboard. The first place that I'm staying in is quite small, so I'm not sure how well stocked the supermarket's gonna be. Just to be sure, I got a few things to take with me and then I'll just see what they have. These are some cookies. I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of trail running and hiking, so these are gonna be very handy for when I'm on the mountain and in need of a quick snack. We have some soy dessert pudding cups, some granola bars. These I've never had before. And these two I have already tried, they're delicious. Tomato and arugula spread for sandwiches. Tomato sauce and soy cream for pasta. Smoked tofu, this is an almond sesame variety, which is the best. This is actually the best tofu there is. And some vegan sausages. This is actually not my favorite, but they didn't have the one that I like the most. And then some pretzels, once again for snacking. And these are for breakfast. I'm going to take one of these. I'm not sure which one yet. I'll have to decide that. And then I'm also going to take some oats, just some plain oats to also have for breakfast. And then some drinks. I'm going to take these for hiking, just to have a fun drink on the way. This is grape spritzer, red currant and apple spritzer. Soy milk, once again I'm not sure if they're gonna have that. And then some juice as well, maybe to have for breakfast in the morning. So that's some of what I'm gonna take. Obviously stuff like spices and pasta I didn't show you now because that's not very interesting, but this is the interesting stuff. I have actually spent the entire morning editing that video I filmed yesterday. Whenever there's a lot of talking involved, it just takes ages to edit. But anyways, it's done and the file is exporting right now. And while that's happening, I'm gonna get ready for meeting my friend. We're gonna meet at one of my favorite cafes to get some pastry, maybe get some tea. Let's go. Okay, we've got some yellow rice, cucumber and radishes, the crispy sumac tofu, mint, tahini, lemon, salt and pepper, all on a bed of arugula. This is gonna be delicious. Okay, it's dinner time and I'm not really in the mood to cook anything, so I'm just gonna make a salad. This is one that I've been really enjoying. So we're starting with some fennel. I've just thinly sliced this, some butter beans, red onion, once again thinly sliced, fresh parsley and fresh mint, some flaky salt, and then some olive oil and lemon juice. It needs a bit of extra acid, so I'm just going to add some white wine vinegar. I also have some pita in the freezer, so I just defrosted that. And I'm going to have this on the side. This is just my usual pita recipe with half whole wheat flour. And it's the best, if I may say so myself. Not gonna lie, Saturday was very chaotic. I was packing and cleaning and organizing and also meeting my family for a lake day and doing all of those things that need to be done before a big trip. But before all of that, I had breakfast. I made porridge again, topping with the last peach and some chunks of apple. I realized on this morning that I had quite a lot of apples to get through, so I think I ate like 3 apples on this day. But regardless, I also topped the oats with some mixed nut butter and flaky salt and took some time to enjoy these before the storm. And by storm, I mean before one hell of a day. Why is this so dark? Today is going to be a very busy day for me. We're heading to the lake with the family today. This is kind of my mom's birthday activity, so I'm about to head to the train station. I've just been doing some cleaning this morning because I just love getting home to a clean apartment after a trip, and I've also been packing and organizing and stuff like that. So hopefully when I get back this evening I can start editing this video. Okay, I got the essentials. Let's head out. My family and I had a wonderful day at the lake. Even though the sun didn't end up coming through, we had so much fun together and I got home feeling so good and so happy. After unpacking and showering and doing some more editing, I then made dinner, once again trying to use up ingredients from the fridge. I had some tomatoes and chickpeas on hand and a bunch of basil on the balcony, so I decided to make a pasta salad. Before even cooking the pasta, I cut up the tomatoes, adding them into a bowl with grated garlic and a good pinch of salt. This method draws out the moisture from the tomatoes and also mellows out the raw garlic flavor. I then cooked up the pasta and rinsed it to cool it down, adding this into the bowl along with arugula, chickpeas, fresh basil, some good olive oil and balsamic. Once again, I'm tasting for salt and had this pasta salad as a lovely way to end a lovely day. And to be honest, I watched the hockey finals after this and then fell into bed. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I am gonna go for a run this morning. This week has been pretty busy, so I haven't been running as much as I usually do, but I definitely want to go for a run today because I just want to shake out the legs before the trip. I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of hiking and trail running, so I want to make sure those quads are ready for that. I've been practicing with hills as much as possible here in the area, but honestly it's always a bummer living somewhere so flat. I cannot wait to move to the mountains once I finish my studies. I had my breakfast this morning and it was actually so good. I had some porridge, unsurprisingly, with vegan Nutella that I kind of melted, and then some more apple because I still have so many apples, and it was absolutely delicious. Anyhow, I'll get my run done this morning and then get back to packing just the last bits of stuff, and I'm also gonna do a bit of food prep. After my run, I ended up making another tofu stir fry. This one had some charred corn, zucchini, garlic, more fresh basil from the balcony, and balsamic. I served this with rice on the side, and it was actually so good, considering I just made this to use up ingredients in the fridge. Moving on to the food prep, I had two things in mind. One of those being a simple granola, which I always love to have on hand when camping because it's the easiest breakfast around and it's also a great snacking option. This one was an olive oil granola with dried raspberries and almonds, and let me tell you, it was good. So you start by mixing together the maple syrup and olive oil with a bit of vanilla and then adding the dry ingredients before mixing one more time and baking the granola for about 30 minutes until lightly golden brown. While the granola was baking, I decided to prep a big batch of dressing because I didn't want to take a lot of different ingredients with me, so I made this to have on hand for the first week or so. I don't only use this for salads, but also marinated tofu and veggies and stir fries and sandwiches. So I made the tahini Caesar dressing. I've been obsessed with making this for honestly like 6 months or so. This keeps super well in the fridge and is very versatile. The granola had finished baking at this point, and you want to make sure it's cooled completely before storing it in a jar, or in my case, some plastic containers, and then you're good to go for breakfast in the morning. And that was all of the prep for the trip done. Nothing too fancy, but still would make my life a lot easier and more delicious in the camper van. Hä? Nee, alles gut. Ich rede mit mir selbst. Brauche ich nicht.